I gave you fair warning, beware. I gave you fair warning, beware.
Welcome back to Unapologetically, Candid. It's your man, Damon. In today's episode, we have local Atlanta sketch comedy group, new up-and-coming all-female sketch comedy troupe. Fine China Comedy is in the building. Ladies, how y'all doing today?
Very good. Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah. Tell the people about yourselves. Introduce yourselves.
All right. I'm Candice. I am mostly the, I would say the musical inspiration behind Fine China. I write a lot of the songs, and then here and there I do some other stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, and social media and
social media,
tech. You know, I was like, Candice, what am I doing?
Set dresser.
Yeah.
Kind of jack of all trades of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm Amanda. I primarily act. Before getting together with Candice, Tatiana, and Sailor are the other core members of the group. Act is kind of what I've been doing, but since we've been getting together, we'll throw around ideas for sketches, and when it comes to dressing the set or finding locations, finding more people, kind of help with that as well.
Oh, okay, great. So it's everybody all hands on deck kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So how did Fine China come about?
I mean, I guess that was mostly started. It's the child of Tatiana Zappardino. She's the founder and the head writer for it, and she wanted to find a way to promote women in Atlanta behind and in front of the camera. So she wanted to just start this group of all-female comedians, musicians, writers, DPs, everything in the film community that could be represented, and to just put out funny sketches.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't really add to that. That's pretty much it. Yeah, because I met you through Tatiana.
Yes.
I knew Tatiana just through the film community here in Atlanta. I mean, it's big, but it's also small. If you know what I mean. But Tati and I had done this indie thing. We were in a scene together, and then we ended up in classes together, like a year later, and then I met up with him at Highwire because I was just doing classes there. Highwire Comedy Company, they have a lot of sketch and improv teams there at the theater. But, so Tatiana's like, hey, I'm thinking about just getting together. We just want to create some good art, just fine art, and it's been, and we were talking about this before the podcast, just what a learning experience it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, to approach projects always as an actor, but then to kind of switch and be on the other side and the full scope of putting even a 2-minute sketch together, how daunting that can be sometimes.
It's a lot of work.
When you're trying to plan it out and who's available and working with very low budget, if no budget, to accomplish it. But
Working on the currency of favors and things like that.
Exactly.
I can only imagine.
So
why all female? Well, I know you said you want more opportunities for more women and things like that, but the driving force behind that as being, why not just have everything be all incorporated, like mostly female, maybe male, things like that?
Because we do work with guys.
Yeah, we do work with guys.
Yeah,
we do work with guys.
We do.
We have guys in our sketches. A lot of them are, our DPs, our sound guys. So they make up, our crew and some extras here and there. But, really, it's because we're inspired as a group by, women actors and comedians, like Tina Fey and Kate McKinnon and
Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
Kristen we could go down that list forever. But yeah, a lot of that is to do with that. It's just, wanting to represent.
Yeah.
Wanting to represent those women.
By the way, if you ever need a light-skinned guy for a skit or anything like that, just let me know.
We will.
I will make myself available. But no, that's fantastic. Really? So, I don't just say fucking jump out the window and just have everything all female. Why not that? Be like Death Row at the Source Awards. One of you men all in your videos, all on your writing credits. Come to Fine China.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I think it's better to, keep it open because it's really about the film community in Atlanta in general. We want to support strong people that aren't as well known. But it is, the strength of the women. Like, for instance, we got to go to, what was that, Ladies' Night?
Ladies' Night at the Village
Village
Theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, every month they do this screening of, sketches, and they show people who have, submitted their entries. And so ours got shown. And it was actually kind of cool to see that we were the only females pretty much represented in the whole thing. All of the sketches were all male. And then another sketch besides ours had one of our friends in it. But it was all male besides her.
Wow.
So I think it's actually a need, in a sense, to show that there are strong women in Atlanta and in the film community that are funny.
Absolutely. Because,
Yeah.
Even on the indie scene, there's not really too many females behind the scenes or behind the camera.
Not really.
And I feel like...
there's some directors, I can't think of their names. That movie, Good Dick, I think. And I think it's going to be a series on Netflix. What's her name?
I don't know.
I should have looked
I'm
that up.
terrible. I am terrible at knowing female directors and writers. That is very true. Besides, who we just named.
Come on now, y'all gotta represent for your people now. You can't do that.
But just the fact that, the Atlanta film community is so up and coming, and there's so many people here who want to create stuff. Sure, and there's, opportunities. So many networks and movies are filmed here, and to work on those projects are reality, but there's still so many more people who are not working on those that are creative. And since I've been in Atlanta and being in classes, going to acting classes and things like that, one of the recurring thing that I hear from everybody is like, make your own stuff. If you're not getting roles, you just make your own stuff or whatever. And with all the resources there are now, that's what we were talking about too before this. Shooting your own stuff and editing it is a reality now, you know, and just throw it up on the internet. It's, it's possible. You don't have to have thousands and thousands of dollars like it seemed like you used to, or video camera
with their phones now,
you can use your phone. So all that technology is becoming much more accessible to create stuff and to do stories, and so that's kind of how I went when Tatiana approached me. I was like, oh, this is a kind of a cool opportunity, to make my own stuff or contribute in some way of being original.
Also, it looks good on a resume.
Do I have this on my resume yet? I don't know.
You should.
Mine always seems to be an accident. Kind of like theater. I did musical theater all through high school, and the only reason why that happened was because I was going to a certain high school, and then right after 9th grade, my mom was like, oh, we're moving, you're not going to be able to go to the same school. And I cried about it, and then I was like, whatever, I guess I have to go to another school. And so towards the end of the year, when they have you fill out those, all your, what you're going to take the next year and your electives and all that stuff, I just picked anything. And then my mom worked really hard the whole summer to make sure that I could stay at my same school, and I didn't know that. And so I got to stay at my high school. And so my first day of 10th grade, I'm like, musical production workshop. What's that?
Yeah.
And then I got there and I found out it was theater. And so that was kind of an accident. And the same thing with Tati. I just was playing a show, and she just was afterwards like, do you want to join my sketch team? And I was like, yes. Don't know what that is, but yes.
I love how she just recruited y'all like y'all the Avengers or some shit like that.
No, she's kind of like that. She's got a very strong presence.
Yeah, and she knows a lot of people. Like, she's one of the biggest hustlers I've ever met. Like, just always,
So they're like she a drug dealer or something like that. She do that too? Damn.
But in a sense, I think, because are you an actor as well? Or?
Actor, screenwriter.
Okay.
Like you, I
nice.
started screenwriting because moved back to Atlanta from college. Couldn't find any roles that I liked or felt like I wasn't, being a criminal or a thug. So I just started writing myself. And
okay. So, yeah, absolutely.
Turns out I'm not bad at it. So if you need a writer as well, let me know.
Yeah, because, we do work with guys. We should say that. But.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
They like to throw shit at them. Like, go get me some more water.
No. Yeah, it's really cool. I really like the idea of what we're doing because it is just pulling from all of our local talent and making them well known and giving them a place to grow along with us. And it's making everybody strong in every category. I mean, you know, they were, you know, Sailor and Tati and Amanda, they're all actors, and I have no idea what to do at all with acting.
But you've done it.
Aside from
you
some
did,
musical theater.
But you were in a sketch.
I've been in a couple
did
sketches
acting.
and I'm real green for sure. But it is cool that I get that experience too. And then, you know, also being presented with the opportunity to say, you know, hey, write a script. If you got a good idea, write a script. Or if you want to direct this next one, like, I'll show you how. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. So we're getting to learn every aspect. And we all want to be strong in every category so that we can just kind of jump into anything.
Yeah,
so
that's beautiful.
that's a really cool thing about Fine Channel. I think that's what sets us apart from other sketch groups.
Yeah, so I actually watched as many videos of you guys as I could. The bathroom one was funny as hell. So
You know, that was actually the first one ever.
Really?
That was Tatiana's sketch.
Yes.
From I remember, and because it was shortly after she got in contact with me, and she's like, "Hey, I have this idea," and then everybody who was in that film or the sketch, just friends, you know, we know that were available, and we had like a 5 a.m. call. Like we all were like, okay, we're doing this. We all have jobs to do later today, but everybody was there, and
energy was high too.
Yeah,
for
it was
that early. Wow.
to be able to do it. So yeah, and then I thought the end result. I was really happy.
Yeah. So wait, is the
Made me
women's
laugh.
bathroom really like that?
Hey, we got.
Because I'm gonna be honest,
I mean-
men's bathroom is not remotely. It's disgusting.
Maybe not all at once, but I have seen some women do some crazy stuff in some bathrooms.
Like bake cookies?
I
Hey.
haven't seen an oven in a bathroom yet, but I'm sure if there was, somebody would bake in there.
So are your sketches more female centric, or is it more? It can be broader as far as like the comedy things like that.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it could be broader. And we were like talking on the way over here about different ideas we have. And I was thinking about it this morning too, because I'm new to writing myself. I've always been fascinated by it, but never really pushed to do it. So being involved in this group is fun for me in that aspect. But I feel like if you go into something trying to say something, it becomes harder. And I feel like if you're just entertaining an idea that makes you smile or that makes you laugh, I think, to me, I think that's a little bit I don't want to say the only approach, but like in that approach, sometimes you might end up saying something, but I
Has
think
a much
at the
more
end of
organic approach to it.
yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it should just amuse you. I think, and that's what I've heard from any comedian interviewed ever. It's just they're doing stuff or talking about stuff that is funny to them. Or struck them as funny, you know?
And it catches its own audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got what you said. You're not trying to throw yourself out there to get a certain type of demo. You're just letting them come to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the writing process you normally like?
I don't know if
there is one sole process, because you know sometimes
really
you can do
isn't.
different things.
I think it's part of the chaos, but it's also part of the beauty of us as a group, is that it's just kind of like we have like we use like Google Drive, and so we've got like a shared folder that we use, and people just kind of put scripts in there and we read over them together, and if we're like, all right, that one's next, that's kind of how it goes. So everybody contributes. So there's not really like a solid process, but we do try to keep some order to it and say, okay, let's do this one because this would be really funny, and then we'll do this one. Or sometimes it's just based on shooting time. Like the bathroom sketch was the first one because it was short. It was going to be easy. It was like, all right, we're going to do this. We're just going to get a bunch of girls in the bathroom, do some silly stuff. We actually thought it was going to be done a lot sooner than it was. But that was our first, that was that was a learning experience of us realizing, okay, even something that only takes 30 seconds can take 6 hours to, really see it out. I mean, we had a whole different, like the shot list? Was completely changed by the end of that sketch, wasn't it?
Yeah. The idea, because and originally we didn't know if we'd use like a women's, like a public women's bathroom, or if this would just be in somebody's apartment. And then it was, and I don't know, I think we had a meeting, and it was more like a creative meeting. I think it just kind of came, hey, what if it's a women, like a public women's bathroom? And then it's like, oh yeah, we'd have all this space. And so it just kind of built from there, from what I remember.
Yeah, just kind of kept building. And then even on the day of the shoot, it was like, okay, we thought we were going to do it this way. But then by the time we saw that on camera, it was like, nope, that shot doesn't work. So a lot of the process is just us kind of playing with it and figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are like brutally honest on the Google Drives and all that. When somebody sends something, you be like, "Get that shit out of here! What are you doing? Man? I'm just hitting the delete button. Just hit the trash can."
That's usually not in there. We also keep like a thread, and then we have meetings as well. And usually during those meetings, you can kind of tell, because I mean, there's 4 of us usually at those meetings. So if we're all there, then somebody will be like, "I think we should do this," and if 2 or more people say no, then it's kind of like that idea gets shot down.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, we're pretty nice to each other though.
Yeah.
I don't think we've been like, no, fuck that idea. Like
Yeah, I don't think so, because like even there, you know, it's, I mean, but if something doesn't work, you know, it's like, well, I don't think it's gonna work because
It's
Yeah.
gonna
You
be
know,
a hard pass.
you know, because but I think from, you know, to me it just seems like something gets thrown out there and just kind of gets built and shaped and you know, then it kind of becomes what it is, you know.
Do you feel like there's like a limit to like how far of a sketch you would take it? As far as like, no, that's a little too risque for us, or you like
we did have one that I think some of my little one-liners may have been super offensive when we were thinking about doing that workout sketch.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was basically, it was going to be a German instructor. And so a lot of the puns were not going to be very nice. I don't even know if we're still going to use it, so I don't even want to give any of the lines away if it ever happens. But
well, now I gotta see.
it would be offensive. Some of the lines were pretty offensive, I guess, to, you know, just to Jewish culture and life. And
yeah. You
so
guys
it
don't
was
want the
just,
anti-defamation
you don't
movement.
want to go too hard sometimes. It was funny in my mind, and then out loud once it was said, it was like, maybe not.
Maybe it's a
Let's
little
not
Walt
do
Disney-ish.
Yeah, 'cause I think at the end of the day, like, the comedy that's been coming out is more silly. Like, it's and just silly. It's nothing political or trying to be offensive, really. It's just silly, absurd.
Yeah.
less anti-Semitic. Okay.
Yeah, we want
Yes.
the, like, just the good gut chuckles is what we want. Like, just stuff that you've seen probably every day that you don't really talk to anybody about or notice, and then when you see it in a sketch, you're like, oh my god, that's funny. So that's kind of more, I think, what we're going for.
So how did the Aussie protein shake sketch come about? Or however you pronounce it, because now I don't even know how to do it.
Acai.
Acai, yeah.
Acai.
Yeah,
I
that's
looked
it.
that up. There's a video on YouTube, actually. It's got, like, several... Well, I don't think it's got 1 million views. It's got several thousand views, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Acai. How did that come up? Oh, that was Tatiana's sketch.
Yeah, she wrote that one.
She had written that one, and I think that was inspired by something that really happened. So, you know, and
I'm gonna be honest with you. I see that on menus all the time. Never order it because I don't think I know how to
What
pronounce it.
Had I
Just
not
gonna
worked
skip
at
it.
Smoothie King, I don't think I would have known it either.
I always thought it was acacia, but
See?
Acacia.
yeah, that's how I would say
Sounds
it.
like a really ghetto ass name, but I like it.
Acacia.
Acacia!
Acacia.
Bring your ass over here. So how long does it take about to write and shoot a sketch?
Well, we've been working, we got together in January, and pretty much through the spring, we're kicking around ideas and shooting stuff, and so it's not like there's a one set time, if that makes sense. Like,
all 4 of us were kind of working around work and
big
outside things. I mean, with Amanda, Sailor, and Tati all being working actors, you know, they've got other gigs. So, you know, we have to work around those schedules. I'm a musician. Sometimes I'd have other things going on as well. And then we'd all come together and be like, all right, this Saturday we want to shoot. So that means the Wednesday before we need to meet, we need to talk about it, we need to plan it, invite this person, get a DP, and it would just kind of happen that way. So we tried to do stuff like once or twice a month during the spring and then we were like meeting every Wednesday. And then we knew that we wanted to release around midsummer. And so July 4th was when our first sketch went out, and then we've kind of assumed that like every other Friday we'll release something else. So Bathroom Sketch came out Friday before this past, and I think next Friday we're going to put something else out. Yeah.
Dopeness. I'll definitely be watching that.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all both of this. So what are some of the biggest comedic influences for you guys, for like the sketches, or just in general to acting, right?
I really have always enjoyed Key and Peele and Portlandia and Amy Schumer, Inside Amy Schumer.
Yeah, you're an Amy Schumer fan?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of hers, I'm not gonna lie.
She's raunchy, but I love her.
Yeah, her stand-up, but have you ever watched her sketch show?
Yeah, her sketch show is a lot better.
That's where I became a fan, because I can't say before the show, I can't say I was really familiar with her stand-up. But the sketch and being a female comedian, like a very powerful female comedian right now, I think Amy Schumer is at the top of the list. Some of the things she's said, like she did the 12 Angry Men sketch with. Did you see that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. I mean,
wait, she redid 12 Angry Men as a sketch?
Well, kind of. It was based on that.
Yeah, it was like based on that, and then her own weird, her Amy Schumerness was in there. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, but I think, yeah. So I really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sketch show is a lot better than her stand-up. I think her stand-up is kind of definitely like you have to like her if you watch her stand-up because her stand-up can kind of be very cutthroat. She's definitely a person that likes to just like punch you in the throat and then see what happens. And so kind of like a Chelsea Handler where you're just like, ooh, that was not cute. That wasn't good. So she goes for it. For me, I think though, comedic inspirations, oh my God. Mine is more through music. I have pretty much most of my life been compared to Jack Black. My niece calls me Jack Black.
I don't think your niece likes you that much.
She loves me. She knows I love Jack Black.
Oh, okay. You're a big Jack Black fan?
Oh, I'm obsessed. I was pretty sure I was going to marry the dude when I was like 17. I was so sure. And then when he got a wife, I was like, I do not think so. And everybody's like, that dude's just not that attractive, Candace. And I'm like, I love him. I don't.
Makes me laugh. What can I say?
He
makes me laugh.
I don't know what else. He's disgusting and retarded, and I love him.
What the hell kind of men do you like?
Just him. Just only Jack Black. Only Jack.
He's that exception, right?
Yes. No, but yeah, I like him. He inspires me. Honestly, it's really not so much just that he's funny. He's actually really talented. He's an amazing singer and musician. And then, and I like that he chose to be who he is, which is just silly. And for the longest time when I was starting out in music, I was trying to write all this serious stuff, and it was always like really depressing stuff because I was always writing songs when I was going through a hard time, and then I was like, man, all my songs are just like sad.
Sounds like a Mary J. Blige album.
Right, pretty much. Or
what's
like
those
Adele.
Teenage years? That's also.
It's like well, I don't know. Some of that was only just like 5 years ago, and
so this shit was like 3 weeks ago. I mean.
I was just writing this like 2 weeks ago. But then it kind of grew into just wanting to share with friends and family. I would write something really silly, and I would share it on Facebook, and that would be the thing that people would request when I play a live show. And I'd be like, really? Like, I wrote all these serious songs, and people would be like, hey, play that song about peanut butter and jelly. I'd be like, really, Mom? Thanks, Mom. Now I have to play it.
Holy shit. So not to cut you off. Wait, do you watch Insecure? You watch Insecure?
I love it. Yeah, I need to catch up. It's great.
I think you will like, because her character, she does make like songs and things like that where it's a little like...
Yeah, that's right.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's great. Issa Rae.
Yeah, Issa Rae's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
But she had a webisode, or web...
She had a whole web series, Awkward Black Girl, which then got turned into the show Insecure on HBO.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and dope music is on there as well. I be just slamming the shit out of it during the episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if I asked you, do you like Garfunkel and Oates?
Yes, I love, and mainly of the pair, Kate Micucci. That's my other comedic inspiration. I love her. Her and her ukulele. She started out, I think, on Scrubs, like just kind of playing her ukulele on Scrubs, and then started doing more and more shows. And I think probably one of my favorite things about her was her going on a tour, and because her last name is Mikuchi, she called the tour "Playing with Mikuchi." And I was like, that's my kind of person right there.
I didn't know that. I just think, because when I think of like female comedian musicians, they're like the first pair, kind of like Flight of the Conchords.
Yes, like
that's
Flight
a
of the
musical
Conchords.
duo.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, Garfunkel and Oates are very similar, but all female, and they do some pretty funny videos too.
Yeah, they do some really funny stuff. They had a show at one point too that just it fell flat, but they were really funny.
Oh, they did.
There was like one season of it on Netflix.
That's right. That's right.
Well, they really gave them a good shot.
But there's just so much out there too, I feel like.
Do you feel like it's oversaturated like now, especially with like a comedy like group and things like that?
I think that stuff gets, one, promoted wrong, and two, I think people try to go outside of what works for them. Like Garfunkel and Oates, they are a funny comedy duo, especially just playing live shows. That's similar to me with my music. I have just learned about myself that I'm just great live. I'm not great recorded. I'm probably not, you're not going to probably like put on a song about peanut butter and jelly in your car and like rock out to it on your way to work, but live.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm just saying. You don't know. But live, that probably would be, it might make your night, because you just be laughing and having a good time all night, and then you'd be like, man, I mean, that's usually what happens after a lot of my live shows. People are like, you were so funny. And then those people disappear again until I do another live show. So
I'll see you in a month and a half.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think it's better as a live act, and they were better as a live act. And I think if you stay where it works for you, where you've got an audience, instead of trying to make an audience everywhere, then yeah, like I think it's just where you choose to be.
Because there's so many brands of humor and so many different, people, the spectrum of, what people find funny is huge. Right. So I think people are always looking for something to make them laugh.
True.
And the more stuff you can find.
But at the same time, would you want to just be confined in like that one box that people put you in, or would you want like growth to kind of push it, maybe not too far, but maybe push it a little here and there?
I think I would. I mean, we obviously want growth always, but I think we would probably stay again where it works. Like if our sketches worked great for Funny or Die, and then eventually for Comedy Central, that would be great. But then if somebody tried to turn it into like a regular TV show on like Fox or something, that might not be great. You know what I mean? Like Blackish. Like Blackish is one of those shows to me that I think would have been funny if it was just kept being like a sketch.
Really?
That you saw every now and then, as opposed to a regular TV show. Yeah, the show, it gets boring after a while. It gets repetitive. It's like, oh yeah, that joke again about color. That's funny.
You.
Heard it 100 times. Yeah.
Hitting that race card one more time for you, buddy.
So it gets old sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think like Atlanta, I'm excited to see the second season, because he kind of went out of the box. And within the season, like you think the show, these episodes are like this, and all of a sudden you have this very random episode, but it still worked for me. I watched every episode, and I'm a huge fan of the show. So I think like he was able to do it. Donald Glover was able to do it.
He would have done that a long time.
Yeah, I love that he was able to accurately depict Atlanta, but also give it a slightly surreal kind of approach to it.
It was surreal.
Yeah, very surreal.
And sometimes very raw and a little disturbing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like the jail episode.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Which, if you've ever been to jail, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it was very real, but he did a great job. I was so excited when they won. Like, oh man, they just did a great job with everything.
The Golden Globes and all that.
Yeah, and then like, just even the momentum of that dude in general. Like, that's a person where I think he's figured out his niches. Like, he's got a show like Atlanta, and then he, has done stand-up comedy, and then his music and the Han Solo, like his acting. Even just that little small role that he played as like an astrophysicist or whatever that was in The Martian. Yeah, it was just like, that was brilliant. Like, also it was really nice to see, for me, black nerds, like, just represented. Because I am a nerd, and a lot of times we are, we're portrayed as, like, something...
We're very undervalued as a people.
Yeah, we're undervalued
black
sometimes.
Nerds. We really should unionize and rise up.
I think we're doing that. Are we already doing that?
I heard David Allen Greer talk about that, I think with Terry Gross. He blurs, or is what he said. But it was great.
We might have to rethink that name, but...
That's what... Anyway.
So do you guys, when you are shooting, are you guys able to, like, ad-lib and improv some things here and there, like, on the fly, or is it more like you stick to the script? Because there's certain directors and certain writers and things like that who are very anal retentive about that.
Yeah. I don't feel we are. I don't think so.
I think ours is more seeing if it works. And so however way it's written, we try to stay to that. But then once we're actually, shooting or, whatever, they'll usually see, like, okay, that line doesn't work, or say this faster, or cut that completely. So it's kind of like we were saying before, like, even with the shots, it's just as we go. We'll learn where we need to lose a line or add a line. And, like, even for the Acai sketch, because I was going to do some subtitles for it, and coding subtitles, woof, man, that's a job.
But you can do it now.
Yeah, I can do it. But I was going to code it based on the script, and then I realized that the actual sketch was different from the script. So I was like, oh, okay.
And unfortunately, that was technical issues. It's like we had a little bit at the end, and in editing, it was like, okay, really... Well, one, the light, we had a lot of lighting issues, and it just didn't look good, and then also the joke didn't really land like we thought in that little piece. But he was really great. The guy who came out and did that was really great to come play.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, your project is different from, like, it's different from when you write it, when you shoot it, and when you're editing it. Mm-hmm. It's not the same project.
Yeah, it's always different every time.
And that's what I'm learning, and what I've enjoyed about doing this is, because the actor, you have, as an actor, you have, like, these worries and concerns, but then to see the whole process, it's like, oh.
It's like, you stressed out about this, we got this, this, and this that we got to worry about, so.
Yep.
So, what is the overall plan for Fine China? Like, right now you're on the internet. I know you said maybe possibility of crossing over. So, like, what platform would you guys even want to be on if you guys had your ideal choice? Like a Netflix or an Amazon, Comedy Central maybe?
I personally think that we would do great on, like, being kind of almost like Drunk History started. Just, like, kind of hanging out, doing a small series on Funny or Die, and then going to Comedy Central. Doing something like that. I think we could do that.
Yeah, I think, definitely staying in video, like, I love performing live, but I don't know if I don't know if, like, doing live shows is something I've really thought about with this. I did have a friend
stuff would have too many set changes and angles, and
I
think it'd be hard to do live.
Because I've seen sketch live, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun, but it's definitely...
Well, Broad City does live, though, don't they? Abby and Alana?
Are they live?
Yeah, I think they at least used to. I think back when they were doing improv in the web series, but I don't know if they do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good show. I've seen. I haven't.
Damn good show. Come back next month. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think what they did. The same. They were not getting on house teams at Upright Citizens Brigade, so they're like, hey, let's write our own show.
And they did the web series, and then I think Amy Poehler saw it, and then gave them the shot with Comedy Central.
Yep.
Damn, I gotta meet more famous people.
We just need to know Tina Fey or Amy Poehler, and then we'll be good.
Somebody. So, what's the importance of starting out on the internet then?
The viewership, I
really?
think. You're able to reach so many more people than you could promoting a live show.
Yes.
Well, because, in a live show, you're limited by the theater space and how many tickets you can sell. But, I mean, I think this is a golden age of internet, like, the access to it now and everything, like, you can reach 1,000 people like that.
And not only that, but just a lot more people are taking up doing writing, comedy, acting, etc. more independently, and they get more independent support online. Crowdfunding is a big deal. For instance, Patreon. which we just started our Patreon as well for Fine China. But if you've never heard of Patreon, Patreon is basically like an ongoing Kickstarter. So like per project, people can say like, yeah, you know, every time you post a video, I'll give you $5, or they can just tap out at like, I want to give you guys $20 a month. And sometimes I think it's nice to have that platform, because sometimes people don't necessarily want to see your show or give you, you know, they don't want to buy your CD, but they like you enough to want to support you. So it kind of just opens it up for you to get, you know, support and money from anybody that just cares about supporting you, as opposed to needing to be at your show. Like I have tons of friends and family that can't make it to my shows or can't be at shows, but they would like to financially support. So using platforms like that, the internet is just great for.
Girl, that was a good plug. What you got, media training?
Yes, I do. No, I actually, as soon as you said the internet, I was like, Patreon.
Yes. Yep.
I gotta put
funny.
Patreon in there.
Which, yeah, I mean, honestly,
by the
before I
way.
met you, I didn't know much about it. I heard it. Now that I'm aware of what it is, it's like, oh, that's what that is. Oh.
Honestly, I wouldn't know, and this is the other cool thing about the internet. I wouldn't have known about Patreon if it wasn't for accidentally finding stuff on YouTube. That's one of the cool things about YouTube. I every now and then would post some videos on YouTube, but I got really weird about it just because people just say really mean stuff for no reason when you post stuff.
You ventured in the comment section?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, on your own videos. That's what I mean. So,
Even worse.
Yeah, well, I was always fearful of that, because it would just be on people that I thought were amazing, and I wouldn't have to go that far down. It would be like the first or second comment, and you would just see like, you're gay. Or, oops, I just unplugged something.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, they would say things like, oh, you're gay, or, you know, your teeth, you have a gap in your teeth, or, you know, whatever it is. And it would just be like the first or second comment, and I'm like, really? You missed that entire song and came here just to say that one really rude thing that does not matter, like, at all.
You know what's fucked up? Is the fact that they had to pause that and then scroll all the way down real quick, and then they probably resumed the video too.
Probably did, probably so. And one of my favorite musicians on there, her name is Julia Nunes. She literally went viral out of nowhere just by posting a video. She's trying to sing a happy birthday song to her friend, and she did Build Me Up Buttercup in kind of like a cool way that nobody had done back then in like 2008. And,
Old school jazz style?
no.
Oh, okay.
She just made a simple video. It was terrible quality, but it looked like she was just singing and playing ukulele by herself, and all of her friends were like kind of laying down on her bed and hidden out of the view of the camera, and then right when the chorus came, they all sat up, and it was like 20 people in view of the camera, and everybody was like, whoa, this is really cool. So I started following her, and at the end of one of her videos, she played a song by this group called Pomplamoose, and Pomplamoose are the creators of Patreon. And so I just started kind of following all these musicians. I was like, oh, I like Julia. Oh, I like Pomplamoose. And then Pomplamoose was like, follow us on Patreon. Hey, by the way, you can use this to make music if you're an artist. And I was like, that's cool. So that's another good reason why the internet's so cool. You can just kind of find stuff, find little gems that you wouldn't even know about had you not just been clicking on stuff.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's good exposure, but to me also there's that worry of it's so oversaturated with people trying to do the similar thing that I don't think you being able to reach out to as many people is going to be like that a lot easier of a thing. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to going maybe like a studio route or something like that.
I see. Yeah.
I think one of the really cool things that I learned from Amanda Palmer, who's another musician. She's been doing music for I don't know how many years, like at least 20 years. And when she started out, it was just like her and a piano. And then she joined up with this guy who did drums, and they started the Dresden Dolls. And they got signed to a record label. And after, I guess, their first album, they only sold like 25,000 copies. And so the label dropped them because they were like,
You ain't recoup your investment.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just like, that's only 25,000 copies is not great. And she thought that was great. So the label dropped them, and they started doing their music independently, and they started doing crowdfunding. And when she did a Kickstarter to like fund her next album, she ended up making like $1.6 million.
God damn!
Something like that. And when she looked at how many people backed it, it was 25,000 people. And so she was like, it doesn't really matter like how big your fan base is. It's for her, it was more connecting with her audience. She's like one of those people that will like, right out of the shower and like her bra and like shorts will just like play a song on ukulele in her bed and like share it with her fans. And she's just always constantly on every platform on the internet, making sure she talks to her fans, shares her personal life with her fans, shares her music. Everybody's involved in her life and her process. And that's where her 25,000 fans are. Those people would pay $8,000 for a vinyl just because how much they love her and how close they are to her. So yeah, the internet I think is definitely very saturated with so many people creating. But if you are reaching your specific audience, that can still completely support your entire career based on what kind of product you're giving.
Hell, that's what Prince did for years.
Exactly.
Still not over that one. But
I'm not over 2016 at all.
No,
that
and how many
entire
people
year
just hacked and slashed all these damn things, like David Bowie and Alan Rickman.
Yeah, the beginning of this year and all of last year just sucked. So many people gone.
Yeah, so let's change the subject to something more positive. So with the fact that you guys are pushing on the internet and that's the way you started, do you think you'll be able to actually gain a lot more traction as opposed to if you guys got together, approached studios, tried to do the pitches and all that?
Honestly, I haven't thought of that. Just the pressure of that, I guess, because in a way, I think that would dampen for me the creativity, like all that pressure of I have to impress this studio. Whereas I really just enjoy kind of
the freedom, the creative freedom.
Yeah, the freedom, just to hang out with my friends, basically, in a sense. But at the same time, we have a goal of, hey, we want to do this sketch or whatever. But so yeah, that's why I've never really thought of that.
Yeah, I haven't thought of that either.
My bad for bringing this up. Whoops.
No,
I mean,
it's
like
honestly,
Tatiana Sailor, like I don't know if they have different ideas about it. I don't know, but for the most part, I get more enjoyment and feel more creative. Just
being independently creative about it.
Absolutely, and just getting it out there, and it's kind of fun. Like I did this little it was like indie in Alabama, and there were some Atlanta people on set, and they're like, "Wait, I've seen Fine China." Like they knew, I was like, yeah, because they being in the Atlanta film community, had it's been circulated or whatever. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties about Atlanta. It's like it's a big city, but at the same time, if you're in a specific type of thing like entertainment, it's a smaller group, more or less. So wait, what are some of the ways that you guys do get like your videos out there so people can watch them and things like that? Like, what's the marketing strategy?
I think we're just all figuring that out. Because me and Amanda are the older half of the group, and
I'm an old millennial. I don't even know if I'm in that millennial cusp, to be honest with you.
I am.
Me too.
You're in that weird awkward.
I'm in the weird awkward. Yeah, I was born in '81, and so they're just like, "You're a millennial," and I'm like, "Really though?" Like.
I don't listen to Lil Yachty. No.
I don't even know that. See?
I still don't know what a Lil Yachty is, to be honest with you. I just heard his name on a couple songs.
He's gonna be at the Fox. I know that.
See, it's a he. You know more than me.
You know more than both of us.
I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't even understand the whole millennial, any of that crap.
But but the marketing though, and we were talking about it too. Like, I'm figuring it out for sure. The whole social media technique and but it's a powerful tool though, really. I mean, just how powerful it can be to promote stuff and advertise stuff. I see why there are whole careers devoted to this.
Yeah, I know,
it's like 24/7.
I know that the first thing that we released, which was our Julian boat sketch, and I was the one to have to post that, and I was like, all right, cool, this is going to take me like 5 minutes, just going to post it on Facebook real quick, and then I was like, oh yeah, and Instagram and Twitter and Patreon, and so I start getting ready to post it, and it was just like, it took me like 15 minutes, like coming up with hashtags. I was like, hashtag women in comedy, hashtag this, hashtag that, at Sailor, at Tati, at Amanda, at this person, at that person. Wait, who was our DP? Our DP was at this person, post it. 30 minutes later, that was just Facebook. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
Then you gotta go on Instagram.
and then it's just
Hashtag
like,
feminism. Hashtag.
Exactly. It's
Well,
like,
I'm curious.
done.
How did you just see us on Facebook, or did you?
I did. My boy Rashik, who actually we interviewed on the show on the first
Rashik.
episode.
I think he knows.
You know
Tatiana.
Rashik?
Yeah.
I don't personally, but I think Tatiana.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know
not
him
you're not
personally.
missing much. He's an asshole. It's all good. But no, I'm just joking. I love that guy. He's coming back from New York. I think in like a couple weeks or whatever. So I gotta get him back
Isn't
on
he
the
on
show.
some TV show right now? He's on something. I feel like he's on.
He was on 24, and then he got killed off like a little bitch, and then
Oh.
I know he booked something up in New York that I can't talk about, but
Okay.
yeah, that guy's going places.
He is.
Cool.
But
But he's Atlanta.
yeah, he's on.
actor,
Mhm,
and-
he's an
okay,
Atlanta
cool,
actor.
cool.
Yeah, I have like 25 mutual friends with that guy, and I don't know who he is, but I know his name.
Again,
I
you're
hear
not
him
missing
all the
much.
time.
It's all good.
Aw. Sorry, Rashid.
No, he's a good guy. Also, he does headshots too. So
Oh.
if you guys ever need that.
Nice.
Good to know.
But oh man. So I got near the end, little lightning round.
Oh.
You gotta be honest about this one. SNL or In Living Color?
Oh, why would you do that? And you took it old school. You didn't even like. You
I
didn't
didn't
even
even
give
do
me
Mad
the
TV.
like Mad TV.
Mm-mm,
You were just
nope.
like this or this. Oh crap! I mean, both have produced so many good people.
Yeah, but it was kind of like cycles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some casts were stronger than others,
True.
That's
honestly.
true.
And then like,
Especially SNL, because most of the time SNL is really popping during like an election year.
yeah. And lately they've been on point
They've been hitting
with
Yeah, I'll
stuff
say
lately.
SNL. I mean, honestly, I'll say SNL mostly because I didn't obviously start seeing that until I was like my senior year of high school. In theater, all the theater kids, we'd like have parties and we'd get together and we'd like watch SNL together. And that was us like trying to claim some adulthood because we weren't supposed to be staying up that late and watching that. But yeah, that's kind of that was the beginning of me understanding like, you know, shows and comedy and sketch like that. And so I'd have to say that. I knew some In Living Color from being younger, but I mean, I couldn't quote back half of that stuff to you if I hadn't recently watched it again.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like I knew, I mean, I always knew that. And Z Formation. Like
Mid-on
that's the
films?
only thing I knew when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The
Like
mid-on
people
films?
would, yes.
The very stereotypically gay.
Exactly.
gay
The very
movies.
and then like Jim Carrey as a chicken, which
Yeah.
nobody seems to remember except for me. But
Or Fire Marshal Bill.
or Fire Marshal Bill,
Classic.
exactly. Yes.
With Jamie Foxx's Wanda.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hit the
it's
cross,
Wanda.
like,
Yep.
oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God, on that dating show. Yeah.
I just remember that sketch. So
Yes.
wait, since y'all picked SNL, what's y'all like cast that y'all like I love? Like for me personally, it's like the Eddie Murphy years with like him and
Oh,
Joe
he's great.
Piscopo, where it's like the Gumby and like the James Brown hot tub and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like Kate McKinnon right
Yeah?
now.
Yeah.
Like that sketch they recently did where she's Kellyanne Conway.
Oh yeah.
haven't seen that.
It was a take on
She's
what-
a
that-
mess.
oh my God, that famous movie. I'm blanking right now.
With Glenn Close,
Yes.
Michael Douglas, Fatal Attraction.
Fatal
I
Attraction.
was like,
Jesus Christ.
did y'all see that sketch?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
did.
didn't see that one.
It's pretty. She's good, Kellyanne Conway.
She's brilliant. Her timing is flawless. Like she has very good facial expressions, and her acting in the silence is enough. Like you get the joke without her even having to say stuff a lot of the times.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like the other castmates right now. Like, yeah, she just seems to go well with the cast. You know.
She does
I
a great Justin
definitely,
Bieber too.
Yes, she does.
I haven't seen that.
You ever seen those where it's like
No.
the Calvin Klein commercials and all that, but he's like she's like real shy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I
should watch
don't-
it, you should
I'll
watch
look it up. I'll look it up.
She probably watched him and thought it was Justin Bieber. That's all.
Maybe.
You might have already thought
Oh,
it was.
that's who that was.
Yeah, I like that. I like Kate McKinnon for sure too. I definitely say like, yeah, the Eddie Murphy, the Jane Curtin era, or definitely like right out of high school for me was like the whole Tina Fey, Jimmy Fallon, Amy Poehler crew.
Tracy Morgan.
And
on
Tracy
there.
Morgan, yeah, basically the main stars that have come from that show and done a million different things in recent years. And yeah, I love that entire crew, and I love getting to like kind of watch Jimmy Fallon grow as I grew up. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, because he did not have a well-filmed career. So
I love Taxi with him and Queen Latifah. Are you kidding me? That movie's hilarious.
Are you serious?
That movie's so stupid. I love it. I am one of those people though that likes really stupid stuff. Like the more ridiculous it is, and where people are like, "Why would you sit down and waste your time?" And I'm just like, I love it. It's my favorite.
I'm not gonna be honest with you. You lost me a Taxi. So
What? It's a good movie.
I've never seen it. I'll give it a shot.
It's a good movie. I own it.
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
I honestly, I would say if we're talking about him in a movie, his best movie would be Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore. That was probably the best acting he's done. But just a silly, stupid storyline. I'm sorry, I just love Taxi. It's just dumb.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that movie. But no, so
There's
we're
probably
gonna
a lot of questions about me.
Also, yes. So we're gonna wrap it up with the last question from each of you. Top 5 dead or alive comedians.
Wow.
That's a lot of pressure, right?
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you mine while y'all think of yours. Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Chris Rock. Louis C.K.
Okay.
I like Bill Burr. And then I have to go... Damn, you're right. This is hard.
Yeah.
Rich Pryor.
Okay. I'm trying to think of some of the specials.
No, sorry, I take that back. Patrice O'Neal.
Wow, this is yeah. Ouch. Mitch Hedberg is one of mine. I loved Mitch Hedberg. He's a pretty weird stoner dude.
Never heard of him. Is he more like smaller?
Yeah, I got to see him actually. It was one of his last shows. He was at the Stardome Comedy Club in Birmingham. And I remember I went. We were stone stupid. So he was too probably. But no, he actually I think OD'd.
Yeah, in
shortly,
2005.
Yeah, shortly after that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was going a little nuts, but he's a great. You have to check out Mitch Hedberg. I'm sure you've heard some of his jokes before, but yeah, Mitch Hedberg is up there for me. Old Eddie Murphy. Gosh, why is this so hard? I really do love Amy Poehler. Like she's just my favorite person. Jen Kirkman, that girl is hilarious. She's not very well known right now, but she's going places. Jen Kirkman is pretty hilarious. And then who's my fifth? God,
Maybe Donald Glover. That's one of mine. I was just thinking like
I do love Donald Glover. I really do.
The Weirdo.
I probably have an obsession.
Yeah, it was a great
Weirdo.
stand-up special.
That was one of my favorite specials I could watch anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to say him. Ali Wong, she had a special on.
Well, she's pregnant.
Yes, that was a really good special. Who else?
Terrible.
Natasha Leggero.
Ooh, yeah, she's
I like
really funny.
her.
I haven't seen her in a minute. Where's she at?
Where is she?
There was a show on Comedy Central. It was some sort of weird period piece.
Oh, yeah?
I say weird period piece. And it has the chick from Garfunkel and Oates in it.
Okay.
I only saw it like one episode. I can't remember the name of that show. But Natasha Leggero. I like Roy Woods Jr. He's a correspondent on The Daily Show now, and I remember really the only season I really followed through with Last Comic Standing was when he came like third place. But he's from Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham, and it's just cool to see him on that show.
No, he's funny on The Daily Show.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a great correspondent. And I have one more too, don't I?
I can always think of like terrible, like not terrible, but just like mediocre. Like while I'm trying to think about my list of like favorites, I'm like Russell Peters, but I'm like he's not my favorite. He's funny.
Bill Hicks was funny.
Bill Hicks.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, really the list can go on. It's kind of
John
a
Mulaney. Is
John
that who you're thinking?
Mulaney, yes.
John Mulaney.
I like
That's who you're talking about. John Mulaney's pretty
He
funny.
has like the best Law and Order SVU bit I've ever seen.
Yes.
Where it's about Ice-T.
That guy is hilarious. And that kind of, he's not that new, but newish guy. He's got a special on Netflix right now. God, I can't think of his name. He's an Indian guy.
Oh, Hassan Minaj?
Yes,
that was
Hassan
great.
Minaj.
Yes, I saw
Holy
that.
Crap.
That was
I was
really
like,
good.
that's my favorite new right there.
Yeah, there's a lot
that
of
was great.
good newer comedians coming out, like Hassan or even Gerard Carmichael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Carmichael show, but that show is pretty hilarious.
My mom keeps telling me to watch
I
that.
don't know if I've seen an episode. I've heard him interviewed about that show, and he has a special, I think, also on Netflix.
Yeah. I can't think of any more favorites right now.
Yeah, but honestly, Netflix is. I think they have great comedians there, and so if I just want to laugh, there's like tons of specials there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So do you derive more from like the comedic acting, or is you more just acting in general?
You know, yeah, I did a lot of children's theater.
Oh, okay.
It's like my background, and you can't take yourself seriously doing that. When you're dressed as a goat or something. So, you know, like you're doing the Three Billy Goats Gruff or, you know, whatever, your children's story. But, no, I guess, and I was doing it in college, and I tended to get those serious roles, you know, but, I don't know, it's not like I prefer one over the other, just,
So the gig's a gig. A gig is a gig.
a gig is a gig, but like what we're doing, I have fun doing it, and and I like to laugh, and
I prefer comedy just because I think I'm more comfortable in that respect because I'm a pretty awkward person, so having to be serious too long doesn't work for me. But definitely like comedy.
All right, great. All right, so let's tell the people where they can find China at, and also you guys as individual social media plugs and all that.
Well, you can find Fine China Comedy on Facebook. You can just type at Fine China Comedy. Same thing for Instagram and Patreon and Twitter and YouTube. I don't know about Funny or Die right now, but yeah, YouTube.
God damn, there's a whole list. And Tumblr and Pinterest.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. And then me, Candace, if you ever want to listen to any of my quirky songs, my name is spelled Candasse, like canned ass with an E at the end.
Candasse.
Yeah.
There's a special in there somewhere with that.
Yes. And you can literally just type my name into Google and everything attached to that name is me because nobody else spells their name that way.
No, I never met a Candace spelled that way.
Yeah.
My name is Amanda Maddox. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, the Amanda Maddox. The .amanda.maddox. And then I think I'm just on Facebook. I'm a terrible social media friend. Like, I'm the most boring personally, but
Are you one of those that lurks but never likes?
Yes. I do. That's me.
Lurk, man, that's
I like to lurk.
Lurk. Yeah, I do. I'll lurk, but I like. It is a good way to get in touch with me though, like messaging, or to get in touch with other people. So yeah.
All
That's
right.
me.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming on. This has been Unapologetically Candid, and we out. Apologetically Candid, and we out. Apologetically Candid, and we out. Apologetically Candid.